Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and today I am here to talk about fragrances that I have taken out of my collection and decanted and then sold the full bottle of. So this is my little box that probably the next round that I do this, I will outgrow this box. I will need to get a bigger one. But this is my little box that I keep all of my decants in that are basically just fragrances that I thought I liked and then ended up kind of not liking. Fragrances that I just knew I was never going to reach for or go through a full bottle. When I have fragrances like that in my collection that I just am not in love with, I feel like there are other people out there that that's like their signature scent and they would be thrilled to find it for a really good price on Mercari. And so I just feel compelled to take decants just to have it in my collection for reference and things, but then to just go ahead and part with the full bottle. So we're gonna go through all of these. I'm just gonna jump right in because I do have quite a few. I can see right here on top, I've got one that doesn't belong in here. I probably just threw it in here because it was easier to get to than my travel spray thing, which if you guys are interested in me going through my whole travel spray collection, because it has grown massively since I did my travel sprays probably over a year ago or possibly even a year and a half ago at this point. But anyways, this one I'm going to take out because it doesn't belong in there. Okay, let's get started. Some of them I have 10 ml decants of, some of them I just have 3 ml decants of. It just depends on how much I liked the fragrance and how much of it I wanted to keep. So just know anytime that I do take a decant from a bottle, I'm usually pretty good about exactly how much that fragrance has been used. So I'm very good about listing in the listings exactly how much fragrance somebody is getting, because I don't want them to feel like they're getting a full bottle when I have definitely taken like 10 ml of it or something. So with that being said, let's jump right in. The first one that I have to talk to you about is called Lalia Wander. So this is a fragrance that I found at TJ Maxx. It was like $12.99, I think, for a very big bottle, like 3.4 ounce bottle. It didn't have a lid. The bottle was scratched up a little bit, but I typically don't love fragrances from Margot Elena, and that is who, excuse me, I just spit. And that is who does the Lalia line. She does the Love and Toast line. She does the Tokyo Milk and the Tokyo Milk Dark line. Out of all of those lines, the one that I like the most is probably just the regular Tokyo Milk. There are some really good fragrances in that line. The Tokyo Milk Dark is okay. I found a couple in there that I enjoy. But as far as the Love and Toast and the Lalia, they don't last. Even the darker ones, none of them last on my skin at all. I just feel like they're overpriced for what they are. So I just took a decant to have this for reference because people do often ask me about Lalia fragrances. So I don't love this. It's okay. It's just a very generic light floral smell. There's nothing special about it. And again, I would have never even picked this up had it not been on sale at TJ Maxx for like 12 bucks. So that is Lalia Wander. I'm not going to talk this much about every one of them because we will be here forever, even though most of us have nothing but time on our hands right now. So, okay, the next one is Sarah Jessica Parker Pure Bloom. This is the one that comes in it's Covet Pure Bloom. I'm sorry, it comes in the same bottle as Covet, but it's a purple bottle and it has the purple top on it. This one I thought I was gonna love. I thought I loved it when I first got it. And it is a nice, kind of like a grapey floral. It's a little bit, that's really what you get out of it. It smells like the color of the liquid, if that makes any sense. It really does match the color of the liquid with this one. Hannah, can you stop that? I'm sorry, I just realized my dog was scratching in the background, so I'll wait until she quits that to continue. She's in one of the cat's beds, so she doesn't even fit in there. She's like crunched up in this little tiny bed that she doesn't even fit in. She just heard me talking about her, so now she's leaving. She's like, oh, I can't believe you said I don't fit in that bed. And she's coming back. Okay, so this one, again, I just knew it was a big bottle. I got it for really inexpensive on perfumeclick.com, and I just knew that I would not be reaching for this one. So it's just not interesting smelling. It is fresh, it's nice, it's gonna be nice for this time of year, but I have others in my collection that are more like easy to wear fragrances that I know that I'll reach for more often. So I did decant that one and decant this one and sell the full bottle. The next one is Clinique Aromatics in Black. So this is one that you would have seen me haul just a few months ago. I got it when it was still like full on wintertime, and this one is just, it's not interesting to me. It's just a very generic kind of ambery, spicy, like vanilla-y, a little bit sweet. It's just a generic spicy fragrance to me. It didn't do anything good on my skin. It just was very generic to me. So yeah, I decanted that one and sold it. The next one, this one broke my heart to sell, but I knew in a million years I was never going to go through a full bottle of this, and they actually put expiration dates on their bottles. I'm not sure if Lush perfumes actually expire or start changing. I haven't kept one for long enough to know that, but it makes me nervous that I know that they're more of they're known to be more of like a natural type company, and so I feel like if they're using a lot of natural ingredients that possibly they are going to expire. So with that, all that being said, I really just wanted to pass the bottle along to somebody that would actually use the full bottle if it was going to expire, and then just keep a decant for myself. This is Lush Amelie May, and I really enjoy this. But this smells, and everybody that has smelled this says it smells exactly like a Lush store. Like you could smell a Lush store a block away from it. If you're, if you're in the neighborhood of a Lush store, you're gonna smell it because it's so potent. And that's what this perfume smells like. And I feel like on me, this becomes a little bit cloying. It's a little bit too sweet. It just didn't do great with my chemistry. I love how it smells, but it just wasn't great with my chemistry. So yeah, that is Lush Amelie May. The next one is another one that's going to be a surprise to a lot of people. I do like this fragrance. I just knew I had a huge bottle of it, and I knew I was never going to go through it. And this is La Vie Belle Low Intense. So this is the one that had the hazelnut in it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest fan of La Vie Belle, period. So any of the flankers, I'm probably not. They all kind of have the same DNA, and I just knew I was never going to go through a full bottle of it. I do enjoy this one because it is a little bit sweeter than the original, which is crazy because the original is way sweet, but this one has a little bit of a nutty note that helps to cut that sweetness just a little bit. I knew that 10 ml would be plenty. Like, I will not go through 10 ml even in a lifetime, so I went ahead and sold that one. I will tell you guys, almost every single one of these sold a long time ago, so they're not available on my Mercari page anymore, just in case you were wondering. Okay, the next one is one that was kind of a blind buy fail for me. I did purchase a full bottle of this off of Mercari, and I didn't love it. This is Acqua di Parma Iris Nobile. So I think I was expecting something a little bit more iris forward, a little bit more powdery, just a nice iris, and I don't feel like that's what this is. This is sweet. It's really sweet. It's like a very sweet floral. And I don't get a lot of iris in it, and because of that I was just very disappointed in it, and again I just decanted it and passed it along. Okay, the next one is a very affordable fragrance. This is one that I just knew I was never going to reach for, and this is Diesel Zero Plus Feminine. Yeah, Zero Plus Feminine, and this is a nice clean fragrance. And I love that the liquid is like pure white. It looks very clean. It smells very clean. It's got like a hint of a sweetness to it. And it's got almost like a gourmand factor to it. In fact, I'm about to do a summer gourmand fragrance video, like gourmands that are good to be worn in the heat. I think I will include this one because this is something that I think would be a good gourmand in the heat. It's like a fresh gourmand. It's a little bit strange. I found that Diesel perfumes are a little bit strange, but again, I knew that I was never going to reach for this, and I knew that 10 ml would be plenty. Okay, So we'll go through all the 10 mils first, and then I'll go into the 3 mils. The next one is Versace Woman, and this is a very generic woody, like very light generic woody fragrance. This one is nice, and I love, love, love the deep dry down of this, but it takes so long to get to the deep dry down of this that I didn't feel like I need a whole bottle. I will not reach for this. The only note that I really love in this fragrance is the hinoki wood note, which is the most interesting thing about this, but it's just very, very generic smelling. So that is Versace Woman. It's not a bad fragrance by any means, and it does smell good on my skin after it way, way dries down, but it takes a long time to get to that. Okay, the next one is one that I adore this fragrance, do not get me wrong. The only reason I sold it was because I had a subscriber who really, really wanted it, and I was already sending her some decants of something else, and she asked if I could throw that in, and I was perfectly happy to, because the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I have 100 tuberose fragrances. I have fragrances that smell exactly like this, and I have the fragrance that this is a dupe for. So there was no reason for me to hold on to a whole bottle of it. This is Michael by Michael Kors, and I didn't even keep a full 5 ml of this. I kept about 4 ml of this, mostly just for reference, but this literally smells exactly like Narcotic V from Nasomato, and I have an oil, like a very concentrated, I think a 3 or 4 ml of the oil of the Narcotic V, and so I knew that's plenty. I don't need a full bottle of this, so the full bottle went to somebody who it made very happy, and I just kept a little decant, mostly just for reference. Okay, the next one is Euphoria Amber Gold, and this is a very deep, dark, ambery fragrance that, to me, when this dries down on my skin, it smells like it has a little bit of oud in it. So I have hundreds of, well, not hundreds, but like I have countless amber fragrances. I have a lot of just regular ambers, and there was nothing special about this one. So, and it was a huge bottle. It was like a 3.3 ounce bottle that I found at Ross on clearance for like $16. So I went ahead and just took a decant for a reference, and then sold the bottle to somebody who I'm sure is very happy with it. Okay, the next one is one that I'm sure you guys are going to be surprised. Well, you won't be surprised if you saw my declutter video, but if you didn't see my declutter video, you will probably be surprised. But this was a fragrance that my husband actually bought me, so I was really sad to sell it, but he sells stuff that I buy for him all the time, so it was like really no big deal. It wasn't like a sentimental thing. But this is Lancôme Trésor La Nuit à la Folie. These are two fragrances that I just heavily bought into the hype. It was so hyped up by so many people on YouTube, and I completely fell for the hype. Now, I will tell you, I enjoy the à la Folie much better than the original La Nuit. But these fragrances, the à la Folie is much more interesting. It's like a deeper, darker rose fragrance. It's a little bit, just a touch sweet. It's not overly sweet. But there's something about this one that on my skin smells like pencil shavings, and it's just not, I don't want to smell like pencil shavings. I know a lot of people don't want to smell like pencil shavings, and I'm hoping that this doesn't react with their skin chemistry that way, but with mine it does. So I just went ahead and, oops, I'm going to start knocking these over now. So I just went ahead and decanted it to keep it for reference, because I probably will not reach for that. The next one is Ralph Lauren Woman Intense. So this was another one that I bought. It's been a while ago now, probably a year ago. And I do like this one. I really do like this one, but this one is very sweet. It's very cloying, and the more I wore it, the more it was one of those that just kind of made me sick. It was just too sweet for me. So that is Ralph Lauren Woman Intense. This is funny because I don't often sit down and do videos about fragrances that I don't love, so it feels really weird to sit here and talk. I'm not really saying anything negative. There's nothing wrong with these fragrances. They're just ones that I just didn't love. But it feels weird to speak negatively about fragrances, and a lot of people don't like it, which is why I don't make a lot of videos like this, because it's very strange when you start saying bad things or what somebody perceives to be a bad thing about a fragrance. They get very, very defensive and very, very upset. And I will say right now in this video, don't get offended. I'm not saying that these are bad fragrances. It's just a difference in opinion, difference in taste. And you watch, there will be comments in this comment section down below of somebody telling me that I just don't know how to wear the perfume. I'm just not smelling it right, or you know, it's maybe mine, or my favorite is yours is fake. Yours must be fake because you don't like it. Okay, I mean, whatever you want to say, but just know that I'm not trying to offend anybody in any way when I talk about these. Okay, the next one is one that I actually really, really love this fragrance, but it's one of those situations where I've already been through like a mini of this. I had already been through another full bottle of it, so it's been in my life for many, many years. And it's one of those things where I just kind of got sick of it. And I bought another full bottle of it thinking that I would still love it and still go through another full bottle. But then I realized I'm not going to go through another full bottle. Like, I've been there, done that. It's in the past, and I'm moving on to newer things. But this is La Vanilla Pure Vanilla. This is a beautiful, don't get me wrong, stunning, very complex vanilla fragrance. This lasts on my skin forever. It's beautiful. It's interesting. It's one of my favorite vanilla fragrances of all time. But like I say, I wore it for so many years and I've been through bottles of it that I'm just kind of worn out on it. And so I knew all I needed was 10 ml of it and I could go ahead and part with the full bottle. Okay, the next one is going to be another surprise to a lot of people. This is another one that I love, that the liquid is clear, and I'm surprised that it's clear. But this is Viktor and Rolf Bon Bon. This is a nice fragrance. This is like a very almost generic smelling caramel fragrance. It's in the same lines as like Prada Candy or something like that. But this was very, very expensive for the full bottle of this. I basically bought it because I loved the design of the bottle and because this is another one that got super hyped up on YouTube and I fell into the hype. But this is one that does not perform well on the skin at all. It only sticks around for a few hours on me. And for the price of it and for what it is, like my pink sugar, it just blows this one away by 100 times. And why not just use that? If I'm looking for something caramely, burnt sugary, like really edible, gourmand, vanilla-y, that kind of thing, I'm just gonna go for pink sugar, which is 13 bucks for a bottle, and outlasts Viktor and Rolf Bon Bon or Prada Candy by miles and miles. Okay, the next one is Britney Spears. This is the Fantasy Intimate Edition, and this is beautiful. Don't get me wrong, I really love this fragrance. It's very, very clean, very fresh. It's a little bit powdery. It's very feminine. It's more of like a skin scent, which I'm thinking that that is kind of what they were going for, it being more of a skin scent. It's like the Intimate Edition, like somebody is gonna need to get close to you to smell it. And it's beautiful. It's a little bit sweet, but it's not like overly sweet. It doesn't smell like candy like a lot of her other fragrances do. It's just a really beautiful, like more sophisticated version of Fantasy. And I really, really like it. But again, I had a huge bottle of it and I was never reaching for it. And so I just went ahead and sold the full bottle and then kept a little decant, which is plenty. Okay, the next one is Dolce & Gabbana Pour Femme. So I have an Armaf fragrance that is the intense version of this that lasts longer. It's a better performing fragrance, and not that the Dolce & Gabbana doesn't perform well, it really does, but I'm not the hugest fan of this fragrance to begin with. This was another one that just got so hyped up on YouTube. I fell into the hype and bought a whole bottle of it. I did find my bottle on super clearance at TJ Maxx. I think I found it for maybe, I don't know, $25 or something. Maybe $40, I can't remember. If you saw that haul where I talked about it or when I found it, you would know how much I paid for it, but that's neither here nor there. This is an okay fragrance. This is like a grown-up marshmallow fragrance. It's nice, it's fine. I have a lot of other marshmallow fragrances in my collection that I like more, and I have a dupe for this that actually performs better and is literally like an intense version of this, and it's just intense. It's longer lasting, it's more powerful, everything is amped up in it, and so I just felt like with a full bottle of that I didn't need this, but I kept a decant just for reference, or if I ever wanted to do another dupe video or something like that. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of out of breath because the pollen here is so bad. Like the last 2 years, the pollen here has been out of hand, and every morning I wake up kind of out of breath. My nose is kind of running and stuffed at the same time, and it's just been kind of miserable, but okay. The next one that I have is Alaya. This is the original Alaya in the black bottle. So, this one I really like. This one is one of those that I have to be in the mood to wear this though, and I only reached for it I think once all of last winter, and so I realized once we were kind of coming out of winter, maybe in January or so, well, I guess that's the middle of winter, not coming out of winter, but right around January or so when I realized I just wasn't reaching for this. And I also came to the conclusion that I don't love leather in a fragrance. I'm just going to be the first one to say it. I don't love leather in a fragrance. I don't want to smell like cowhide. I don't want to smell like a new, you know, a brand new car, like the interior of a car with leather interior. I don't like it. And I've come to that realization. So this one has a very strong leather note in it, and it's okay. It's a beautiful leather fragrance, don't get me wrong. Like if you want a very good quality, really smooth, nice, classy smelling leather fragrance, this is a great one for that, but it's just, it wasn't for me. Okay, the next one is a Ganache Parfums. Parfums. I can never say those French words correctly, and I feel like an idiot every time I try to pronounce them, but I've just, you know, I'm embracing the fact that I cannot, for the life of me, like make an accent any other than my own. Like I just can't, but this is Pistachio Gelato, and this is from Ganache Parfums, and this is so nice, and this is one that the longer it sits and kind of macerates and gels together, the more intense, the better it gets, because this is one of those smaller kind of indie perfume houses that I'm sure don't keep a ton of stock on hand. I think it's one of those situations where when you order it, they're going to bottle it for you, or they're going to make it for you and then ship it out. And oftentimes, which is something I should probably address here with you guys, oftentimes when you are ordering from these smaller perfume, like indie perfume houses, that's how they're rolling. They're actually producing as they are getting the orders and making it fresh for you. So just know that if you get something and it's not kind of your cup of tea, or it doesn't smell exactly like what you thought it was going to smell like, or you thought certain notes were going to be stronger than others or whatever, definitely let them sit for a good month. And that's my advice with, like, if you order wax tarts, I'm getting off on a tangent here, but if you order like wax tarts or stuff, or things like that from Etsy, which I do a lot, I order a lot of like wax melts and tarts and things from Etsy. Those are other items that really need to be left to sit for a good month before you use them, because they really deepen and they really deepen and get richer, and the actual like notes start to really come out, and they macerate and they just become what they're supposed to be. And that's what happened with Pistachio Gelato. I love this fragrance, but this is one, I had a huge bottle of it. It was like a 3.4 ounce bottle, and I was never going to go through a whole bottle of that with the number of perfumes that I have, so I let that one go. Okay, next one is L'Esprit d'Oscar, and this is a beautiful lipsticky iris, powdery makeup iris kind of smell or scent. Really, really nice, but again, I have so many of these makeup-y smelling fragrances in my collection. This is a huge bottle. I didn't need all that, so Okay, the next one is Kenzo World, and this is another one that I bought mainly for the bottle because the bottle is so beautiful. It's that one that looks like an eye and it's kind of got the charm hanging down. This is also one that I bought on the recommendation of one of my friends, and when she told me about this one, I purchased it, but then she realized she told me it was the wrong one. She meant World Power was the one, and then she actually sent me a decant of World Power, which I do like, but I'm probably going to decant that one as well after I haul it. I'm going to decant that one as well and sell it because it's a very salty vanilla fragrance, and those really salty vanilla fragrances don't do good with my chemistry. But Kenzo World is a really beautiful, kind of fresh, a little bit sweet, kind of nondescript. There's nothing special about it. It's pretty, but it wasn't one that I needed a bottle of. Okay, the next one is Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. This is like a bomb. This is beautiful. This one I bought my mom a full bottle of around Christmas time because it's her favorite fragrance, and it's very like comforting for her. She really loves it. Anytime my mom wears this, like her whole car smells like it. Everything smells like it. This one really is like a bomb, like a beast of a fragrance. But with that being said, it's a beast on clothing, but when I spray this on my skin, it is not a beast at all. Like, my skin will eat this up in, I don't know, 4 to 6 hours, and I get that with 99% of Tom Ford's fragrances, which is why I don't buy any full bottles of Tom Ford, because they just don't last on my skin. And for the price, like, I'm not going to spend that, but they do last on my mom's skin. My mom doesn't have as dry of a skin type as I do, though, so. Okay, the next one is Trésor La Nuit, so Lancôme Trésor La Nuit. This is the original one. This one is, I don't like it. I've really come to the realization that I don't like it. This is one that I bought because it was so hyped up. I fell into the hype and I don't like it. It's too sweet. It's like a very sickening sweet, almost like a jammy rose, but I don't know. I don't like it. It's very, very synthetic smelling too. Very, very synthetic, which is another thing that I've found with Lancôme fragrances in general, is that they are incredibly synthetic smelling, and I don't like it. So I've decided that, and I pretty much have decluttered every single one of my Lancôme fragrances because I don't enjoy the synthetic nature of them. I did, however, just buy Magnifique. I found a partial bottle on Mercari for a good price, and I've never smelled that one, but it's discontinued, and I'm such a sucker for purchasing fragrances that I find partial bottles of that have been discontinued, just because, I don't know, it's the collector in me. I just want them. So we'll see if that one is any better than any of the other ones, but we'll see. The next one is another fragrance that I actually really, really adore this fragrance, but I have to be in the mood to wear it, and I knew I would never go through a full bottle, and that is My Burberry. So this is beautiful. This is a slightly musky, slightly sweet, very classy and classic floral smell. I love this. This is an absolute beast. This will last on my skin for 10, 12 hours. It will last on clothing for weeks. It is like a powerhouse of a fragrance, but it is one that I do have to really be in the mood for, and I'm not in the mood for it that often. This is like a winter fragrance for me because it is very, very heavy. I do really, really love this though. I do think it's beautiful, but I knew that I would never go through a full bottle like in a lifetime. Okay, the next one is Angel Eau Sucré, and this I actually really do enjoy as well. This is like, but this is a more generic smelling Angel. Yeah. Okay, so this is supposed to be more of a gourmand Angel, and Angel is one of those fragrances that I struggle with. I've loved it for years. I mean, I've loved that fragrance since the 90s because it's beautiful. It is supposed to have been the first gourmand that was ever made. It's very, very beautiful. I love Mugler fragrances. They're stunning, they're different, they're very, very high quality, but they're not, the Angel line of fragrances isn't super wearable for me. This is a more wearable version of Angel. This has like more chocolate, I think, and less patchouli. That's what it smells like to me. But again, I have to be in the mood to wear something like this, and I just will probably not be reaching for that one a whole ton, so I went ahead and sold my bottle. The next one is Signorina Misteriosa. This is another one that I love. I love this fragrance. This is a beautiful whipped cream and blackberry fragrance. It's very sweet, very gourmand, but it's another one that I've got to be in the mood to wear. And with these types of fragrances, it'll take me a whole lifetime to get through a 10 ml bottle. So those are all of the 10 ml decants that I have. Those are all of the perfumes that I have sold probably within the past 6 months or so. And then these ones as well. These are 3 ml, and that is because these are fragrances that I don't feel like I need a whole bottle of. I don't even need 10 ml of, because I don't love them that much. The first one is the one that we were just talking about, that is the dupe for Dolce & Gabbana Perfumes. It is Armaf Italiano Donna. And don't get me wrong, I love it. It's beautiful. It is a much stronger version of Dolce & Gabbana Perfumes. It lasts longer. It's gorgeous. This is actually still for sale on my Mercari page if you're interested by any chance. But this is one that, again, I like it. I have the 10 ml of the Dolce & Gabbana Perfume, and I've got this, and I do actually still have the full bottle of this, and I've never once reached for it, even since it's been for sale. I haven't even thought about it, mostly because it's for sale and I don't want to use something that I have for sale, but I literally have never even regretted it being up for sale. So I took a 3 ml decant of that one and went ahead and listed it. The next one is Lanvin. This is Modern Princess Eau Sensuelle. So this is one that I just hauled not long ago, but this one is that it's got that kind of just very generic designer feminine musk smell. There's nothing special about it. I don't love it. And yeah, I didn't even really like it at all. I just took a decant to have it for reference for when I do Lanvin fragrance reviews or whatever. The next one is Jean Patou Syrah des Indes. So this one I actually really like. This is a very old school floral scent. This smells very, very vintage, but again, I knew I was never gonna like reach for this a whole bunch, and I know that there are people out there that, again, would love this, would love to have a full bottle for a really good price, and so I just went ahead and sold it. Next one is Hane Mori. Magical Moon. So this is such a stunning bottle, and I realized that I mostly just bought this fragrance for the bottle and also because it has been discontinued and the collector in me wanted it, but I realized that somebody out there probably actually really loves the fragrance and wants the liquid inside to use, and me hoarding it just for the bottle just seemed wrong. So I took a decant of it, only 3 ml, because I really actually don't love it, and I went ahead and sold it. And then my dummy self put tape over the cap to keep it from leaking during shipping. The caps are also glass, like the lids on the Hane Mori bottles are glass, which I hate because I was so scared it was going to shatter during delivery. The cap is the best part of that bottle because it's actually the moon, and when she went to take the tape off, it ripped the design of the moon off, and I was so sad for her. I did offer a full refund, but she said no because Mercari makes you return the product if you want a refund, and she really wanted the perfume because it is discontinued. But anyways, that's my sad story about my Hane Mori. Okay, which that was also a very huge lesson learned. I'm just gonna quit taping caps because I had that happen too to me. I bought a perfume from Mercari, Pretty Hot, the Elizabeth Arden Pretty Hot, and she taped the lid as well, which I completely understand. I was not upset about it at all, but when I did go to pull the tape off, it pulled all of the lettering off. So good thing I know what perfume it is, but it's just something that happens. But I'm just gonna start taking a chance of not, I'll maybe wrap bubble wrap around the cap and not tape it. So Okay, with all that being said, I got off on another tangent. This is Guerlain La Petite Robe Noire. This is intense. This has a blueberry note in it. I have really just come to the realization I don't like this line. I don't like this line from Guerlain at all. They're too sweet. They're too sickening. They're too sweet and spicy at the same time. A lot of them have a weird licorice note in them. I'm not a huge fan of licorice unless it's done well, like in the Acqua di Parma fragrances. It's done well in Lolita Olympica fragrances, but I feel like it's not done well. It's done well in Dior Hypnotic Poison, but I don't feel like the anise or the licorice note is done well in the La Petite Robe Noire line. I think it's sickening. I think it's headache inducing, and it's too much with the amount of sweetness that is in these. So yeah, I will probably never wear this. I just kept it to have as a reference. Next one, this is Diesel Plus Plus Feminine. So this one is the one that comes in like the milk carton looking bottle or the white bottle. This one's okay. It's really like non-distinct. There's nothing special about it. This is not one that I was ever going to reach for. So most of these 3 mils I just kept because I kept them for reference. Next one is Calvin Klein Truth. This is one that, yeah, this is the beautiful, like very zen, very calming bamboo-like fragrance, but it did something really, really weird on my skin. So that was one that I kept for reference so I could smell it out of the bottle, because I love how it smells out of the bottle. But on my skin, it dried down really weird and didn't smell good at all. Okay, the next one is another one that I just got not too long ago, maybe within the past year, but this is Lancome Idole. And I loved this when I first tested it. I had like a carded sample. And it's pretty, don't get me wrong, but it's way, way overly synthetic smelling to me, and I've just come to the conclusion I don't like Lancome fragrances, period, so. Okay, the next one is Armaf Eternia, and this is a dupe for Christian Dior Poison Girl. If you are looking for a really, really good dupe for Christian Dior Poison Girl that is going to perform 100 times better than Poison Girl, get this one, this Armaf Eternia, because this performs 100 times better. It's so much better in every way than Poison Girl, and yeah, this is a good one. However, with that being said, I don't love Poison Girl. It's my least favorite of all the Poison perfume line, and I never reach for it, so I just keep it for reference. The next one is another La Petite Robe Noire, and this is the Black Perfecto. This one's a lot better than any of the others. Like a lot better than any of the others in the line. It's not near as sweet. It doesn't give me a sickening headache, but this has a really strong leather note in it. This is like a rose and leather perfume, and I just knew I was never going to wear it because I have really come to realize I don't like leather much in fragrance. The only fragrance that I absolutely adore that has a beautiful leather note in it is the Lady Gaga, whatever that one in the black bottle is. That one has a leather note in it, but it's leather and citrus, and it's very light, it's very fresh, it's sophisticated smelling. It's like a nice cologne, like fresh cologne smell, and that's the only fragrance that I think I've kept in my collection that has a leather note in it. Okay, the next one is Agent Provocateur, and this is L'Agent. This is another one that I got that was super, super hyped up on YouTube. I think that the reason people hype this one up is because it's probably better than any other Agent Provocateur perfume in the line, period, and because of that, people really hype it up. I don't think there's anything special about this. This smells, it just smells kind of like one of those nondescript, deep, spicy, kind of incensey, but still cheap smelling. Like, there's nothing special about it. If you're going for something like this, you can, this is, you know, cheap enough, don't get me wrong, but it has been discontinued, so you can't find it as, it's not like as readily available, but you can still find it out there, like on FragranceNet and places like that. But there's just nothing special about it. It was way, way hyped up. I fell into the hype, and I'm just not into it. Okay, the next one is Calvin Klein. This is Sheer Beauty. I do have the original Beauty, I think still up for sale on my Mercari page. And I love the Sheer Beauty better than the original Beauty. This one just did something weird on my skin. And that's what I'm finding with a lot of these Calvin Klein fragrances, especially the ones that I blind bought. They smell amazing in the bottle, and I love how they smell out of the bottle, but they're doing something weird on my skin, and this is no exception. This does something weird with that weird designer musk smell that is very generic smelling, and it does something weird and almost dirty and sour on my skin. Okay, and the next one is Adam Levine. So I kept a decant of this for reference. This was one that a lot of people have said that they really, really like. Now my little decant, now that it's like sat for a lot longer, it's sat for probably, I don't know, 2 months or so since I bought the full bottle, and now I'm kind of wishing I had kept my full bottle and let it sit for a couple months because it's smelling different. It's deepened up, like my little decant has concentrated a little bit, and it's smelling a little bit better. It's a little bit soft, it's a little bit more complex smelling, it's kind of spicy and a little bit powdery, and I'm kind of digging it now. So if I ever come across another bottle of this, I think I am going to pick up another full bottle of it, because this is, and it's funny because this is the last one that we're going to talk about, but this one is actually, this one's kind of growing on me, and I feel like if I would have let but I had a huge bottle of it. It was like a 3.4 ounce bottle. I paid like $11 for it. It was so cheap, but even still, I did not need that big of a bottle of it. But my decant is smelling so, so good now. So I need to take my own advice and let things sit for a little bit, but you wouldn't think that with a you know, mass manufactured perfume. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was somehow insightful for you. Those are all of the fragrances that I have decluttered from my collection that I have kept decants of. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Definitely don't forget to hit that like button, because right now it's really, really helping me out for people to hit that like button, because YouTube is definitely, and I'll address this right now, I'm getting a lot of comments on my videos saying that a lot more ads are running on my videos, like every 3 minutes or every 5 minutes an ad is running. I only have I just know that I do have the power to set in my videos where ads run, but I'm not doing that. All I've got my videos set to is to be monetized. So just know that I'm not controlling when the ads are running. I'm not trying to like inundate you with a bunch of ads, but just know that it seems to me like YouTube is running a ton more ads, and they are paying us about half of what we were making prior to this whole pandemic thing. I'm not complaining, because the whole world is in a mess right now, and you know, whatever. I do these videos for fun rather than for income, even though the extra income is really helping right now since I'm on unemployment. But just know, I don't want you guys to feel like it's me that is sticking so many ads in my videos. I'm not. I've just got them monetized. So with that being said, I hope you guys are all well and safe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.